Hello, I am the Grin, and joining me tonight is the lovely
Amari.
and welcome back to our podcast, a place where we do not shy away from the gruesome details, where some things may be triggering and hard to hear. Listener discretion is advised, so get yourself in the right space of mind and let's talk about dark shit.
Let's go.
Okay, apologies in advance. Today we are surrounded by our furry friends. We have a furry little cat here who is just chilling, and a little Frenchie who is also fast asleep.
And if you guys know about Frenchies, they're very loud. And you might be able to hear his actually loud snoring in the background.
But it's okay. We're going to go with it. Everybody's always welcome, and that includes our furry friends. So today we're just going to jump right into it. So today we are going to talk about the Liske family. So that means we're going to go all the way to Toledo, Ohio. Here lived the Liske family. The family consisted of 53-year-old William Bill Liske, 48-year-old Susan Liske, 23-year-old Derek, 16-year-old Devin, and 24-year-old William. So for the purposes of not getting Amadi confused and getting you guys confused,
Are you saying that because you already see the confused burrow look in my eye?
yes.
Burrowed brow. Is it burrowed? Burrowed brows?
Sure.
This?
Let's go with that. To avoid any confusion, I'm going to be referring to the father as Bill, as that was his nickname, and the son William. So that way you know to differentiate.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Devin and Derek were Susan's kids from a previous marriage, and William was Bill's son from his first marriage. The family lived in a rural area, so this made life quiet for the family, being surrounded by nature. This meant that the outdoor activities, such as hunting and fishing, were just a few things the family loved doing. The children enjoyed spending time outdoors with the family, being raised in that quiet rural life. But William, from a very early age, was described as easily irritable. He was described as a bully and he always instigated conflict among his peers, his parents, anybody. His parents assumed that this might be just a typical child behavior that he would grow out of, but they were wrong. The behavior seemed to have worsened when he reached his adolescence and had frequent run-ins with the law. His attitude worsened even more when, at the age of 15, his father Bill met Susan and they married. William hated Susan's presence in his home. She set new rules when she arrived, which made him rebel even more. At age 16, he was placed under house arrest when he threatened to hurt himself. When police arrived at the house, things escalated quickly and William resorted to violence. And in 2004, Susan had pressed charges against him after he had hit her in the chest. And after that incident, he also struck her in the head with a mug to steal her car.
Jeez. With a mug?
Mm-hmm, with a coffee mug.
Jeez.
Yep. However, it turned out that William was suffering from a schizoaffective disorder and wasn't fit to stand trial. The charges were then dropped, and his father had decided to place him in a psychiatric home near Lake Erie. Continue. Ask. I see the question.
There was no question. I was just going to say that sounds... It's bad, but that sounds pretty cool. The mental house was near Lake Erie. I don't know. I feel weird saying it, but it sounds cool.
I mean, the name, Lake Erie.
I know.
Despite getting treatment, his mood did not improve. Even in the home, he frequently had violent outbursts and continued to have them when he was sent home. Now, aged 18, William, still hating Susan, decided to attack her while she was in the shower. This is when his father made the decision to kick him out of the house. This made William hate Susan and his stepbrothers. Despite all this, William still received treatment for his disorder, and despite everything, Bill wanted to be there for his son, making sure he was getting the help he needed. In 2007, Bill sought to get William out of the psychiatric home and into a halfway home. Bill thought that this would help improve William's condition. And with medication, William's temper did improve, but he didn't like taking them. He didn't feel like he needed the medication.
Okay, so he did have access to medications to help him.
Correct.
But he did not take them on purpose. And even if he did take them, or while he was on them, even though it was sporadic, so I don't even know how much that actually helps if you're on them sporadically, he still hated his stepmom and stepbrothers.
Yes, there was still hate there. And there was still...
And it wasn't really... Was it correlating with his illness? Or is just he just hates them?
At first, from how I understood it, what I took away is that he hated Susan specifically. Not really her kids, but just Susan because of her presence, her new presence in his life and in his father's life.
That's not a reason I hate somebody.
But I feel like because of his condition...
Was it because like you're not my mom kind of thing?
I think so. And with the condition that he had, like he would express his hatred towards her by having these violent outbursts.
That's why I'm trying to think. Like she's been with that family for what, 5 years? You said now.
Yeah, she's been with them for a while.
Still hates her. I don't know. To me, I'm kind of thinking like that's years. Shouldn't you be like outgrowing your hatred? Like, hey, unless she was an actual bitch, like.
Which she wasn't. She was described as a very loving mother.
See, like, okay, maybe it was his condition. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But then some people do grow up hating their step-parents because to them, they think they're replacing their other parent.
Yeah. But at that point, maybe talk to somebody, go to therapy. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. That's what I'm trying to think. Like, is it the whole because like you're growing up and you're not my mom kind of thing, or is it because it's also correlating with his illness?
I took it as it's correlating with his illness, but take what I'm telling you is what you will. You can make your own conclusions.
My confusion always throws things off for me all the time. I swear.
You can make your own conclusions. Okay. So yes, William's condition did improve with the help of medication. But again, he didn't like taking them. What he did enjoy taking was alcohol and marijuana, which seemed to worsen his mood. However, William was eventually released and sent to a rehabilitation home. But Bill was put in a difficult situation. He wanted to see his son, but also had to think about Susan. She was not comfortable being near William, which obviously, rightly so, makes sense. And neither were their neighbors, actually, who always had a bad feeling about him. Actually, in one instance, one neighbor did press charges against William when his dog went missing. When they went out into the woods to find the dog, they found him dead, cut up. And fingers immediately pointed to William, who was always up to mischief. Just that he was that rebellious kid who always had run-ins with the law. And everybody kind of like knew everybody there since it's a rural community. Mm-hmm. And everybody knew that William was the bad kid in the community. So for that reason, fingers were pointed at him.
That kind of sucks, though, because like just because you're known as like the bad kid and exactly a kid, that doesn't mean you're going around killing animals too.
True, but I mean,
you have a smile though. You're
true, but I mean, you could also be.
Yeah, but I just feel like that's kind of, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if it's a small town or whatnot, but I'm thinking like that's kind of judgy. Maybe no, like you know what? Ignore me. Just go ahead.
So Bill decided that he would make some time for just him and his son, and decided to take him to a cabin where he would have some alone time and some bonding time with him.
Yeah, some father-son time.
Yes, thinking this would improve his son's mental state. But William's hate never seemed to leave him, and Bill was not spared from his son's violence as well. On numerous occasions, Bill would phone his friend Mark, whom he was very close with, for support. Mark always worried that William would do something horrific to his family, but Bill didn't want to give up on his only son. Bill always blamed the illness and not his child.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
It's difficult.
It is.
On October 31st, 2010, at around 9 a.m., Devin, the youngest, had returned home from spending the night at his biological dad's house. Devin ran in the house.
Sorry if you guys hear that in the background. Bane. Okay, my Frenchie's name is Bane. He is a Frenchie. He is very loud. They are not quiet dogs. Despite their little stature, they're loud dogs.
So if you can hear that, just take it as like a creepy sound effect.
There you go.
So Devin ran in the house to get ready for church. There he saw William in the house, which surprised him a little bit because William would visit on occasion, but to actually spend the night at the house was odd. William asked Devin where he was going and how long he would be gone, to which he just shrugged off the question and then just left because his relationship with William was also tense, as you can imagine. Devin came back home at around 1:30 and started playing video games. But Devin realized that the house was very quiet and wondered where his parents were. He made his way to their room and found them in bed. When he approached his mom and noticed her pillow was stained red, he thought it was just a prank, it being Halloween and everything. But they both were not moving or breathing. That's when he got freaked out and ran out of the house immediately. Frightened, he immediately called his aunt, who alerted police. He didn't check on his brothers, Derek or William. When police arrived, they discovered the gruesome scene. In the bedroom, police discovered Bill and Susan's bodies. Bill was shot in the face while he was asleep. Susan was shot 3 times in the head. Her body was then moved, and the killer bludgeoned her head, despite her being dead already. In another room, they discovered Derek's body in his bed. He had been repeatedly struck in the head with a hammer that was found in the room while he was asleep. Police concluded that the killer started with Derek, then moved on to Bill, and then Susan. Autopsy later discovered that Susan's body was also sexually assaulted after she was killed. Lori, who was Devin's aunt, told police that she suspected William, explained to them about his bad blood with Susan and his disorder. William was also at the house, but was gone after the bodies were found, along with the family's truck. Neighbors also explained to police that they did hear gunshots at around 6 a.m., but didn't think much of it because of the hunting areas that they were near, because it was near a lot of recreational outdoor parts. So it wasn't odd to hear gunshots, so that's why they didn't think much of it. It was determined that the family was already dead when Devin arrived home that morning, and William chose not to kill Devin as well.
Why would he choose? Is it because he's the youngest?
That's what I thought too. But that's a question. That's an answer that we won't get because
We won't?
No, we won't.
Darn. Okay.
Yes, because I also found it very curious because he hated Susan. He didn't.
You did say that he hated all the kids.
Yeah, he didn't like his stepbrothers. So I found it very odd that he would let Devin run out. I'm assuming because he was a child, he was still a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was 16. But I don't know, and we won't know. So I'll just rip that Band-Aid off right now. We won't get an answer to that. We're just getting all sorts of cool sound effects today, so I hope you guys are enjoying it. Police immediately started a search for William and found him at the family cabin that he frequented with Bill. There, the police found him and arrested him. They collected his clothing as evidence and was placed on suicide watch. In November 2010, William was charged with 6 counts of aggravated murder, 2 counts per victim. William pleaded not guilty, and his defense fought for an insanity plea. But after going under evaluation, it was determined that he was fit to stand trial. Now, knowing that he was facing the death penalty, he changed his defense. On August 12, 2011, he pleaded guilty to 3 counts of aggravated murder in exchange for the prosecution to waiver the death penalty. William was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. During his sentence, he expressed remorse for the murders, blaming Satan and his mental health.
How did he blame Satan when before there was never any talk about it?
My thoughts exactly.
I'm sorry, I'm still trying to process because it's a mental illness, but Satanism was never spoken about before. You said he said it?
Yes, he said it during that like.
Well, then again, okay. Well, if he's going to say it, then that can be where the animal being missing and mutilated, that could be part of it. The whole so-called Satanism.
I could get that, but no, never once until the end did I read anything about Satanism, sacrifices, anything like that.
Yes, he has an illness, but how does that? How are you also bringing up like? Usually, people with illnesses like they just stick to they're sick, okay? But how are you like? No, it's part of Satanism, or it's all for Satan.
I almost feel like he said that just to have people think, oh no, maybe this kid is nuts. Maybe he actually is.
But he
already underwent an evaluation, but still.
He's like, damn it, I'm not too crazy for them yet. It's so dumb.
It's very strange. It's very odd. But yes, that was the case of the Liske family. Very horrific. I don't know. It just got me kind of the whole fact that Bill, the father of the family, how he never once tried to give up on William and really did want to be there for him. And in the end, it was like he didn't care, honestly. And
yeah, he tried.
It cost Bill his life. He did try. You can't point the finger at like a bad home because he tried.
No, you can't because he tried. And the stepmom, she was actually like a loving woman as well.
Yeah.
She had her own kids. And so far what it sounds like is everything was good. It's just he had his own issues.
He had his demons.
Yeah, that sucks.
I know. Also, when I was typing this case, it didn't hit me until I finished writing the sentencing that this is the second case that I read for this spooky month where we're talking about a family or where I'm talking about a family. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess
there's always families involved. What are you talking about?
No. Like a massacre within the family.
Oh, within the family?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I'm like, all the cases have families involved.
No. So how the first case of the month was, what was it? Suzanne von Richthofen?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess that one was more her parents. And then this one was...
But they let the little brother go.
Yes,
survive.
They did.
So it is another way. Yeah, so it's a little theme that you got going on, kind of. Whereas they kill somebody in the family or members in the family, more than one, and the youngest.
Yeah, that was not intentional. I was just looking up cases or crimes.
Are you the youngest in your family?
I am not, unfortunately.
Okay, never mind. I was like, are you trying to correlate things?
I am not, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't know. Something spooky about family committing crime on Halloween. But anything you'd like to add, Amadi?
No, just go ahead and follow us on our, that little spiel of the whole like and click and subscribe and follow.
Yes, please follow us, hit like, comment, let us know what you think about the episode. We're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Feel free to follow us there. We can update you, more so YouTube, but we will send out the occasional or put out the occasional TikTok. Instagram, we're trying to get better with. Yes, and also share. If you like our episodes, please share it to other people and see if we can reach more people that way. But with that, remember to be well,
Be safe.
and see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.